Alright, once you install the system, you will see a folder in the workspace right here. Open it up and you will find these several subfolders inside. I will delete these two first. Now let's move all the remaining subfolders to their correct locations. Next, I will select them all and press Ctrl U to ungroup them. Before running the game, open the map folder first. Inside you will see another folder named Place your map contents inside the map folder. Since I only have a spawn location and a base plate, I will move them into this folder. Now let's test the game to check if everything works correctly. Alright, so now that I equip my mobile, you can see the mobile is booting up and the home screen appears, and when I click on these apps, it works perfectly. Right now, let's see how to customize this system. It's actually very simple. Even if you only know a little bit of coding, that's completely enough for this. So first, go to replicated storage. You'll see a module script called mobile core module. That is basically the brain of this entire system. It handles the switching between screens and closing them. Now, what do I mean by screens? If you remember the preview, you saw the things like home screen, the core UI, and the booting screen. All of these are considered as screen modules. A screen can be anything which you want. For example, in this case, I have home screen, core UI, and top bar. And the mobile core module is what controls all of them by switching which screen should come first and which screen should come next. Now let's create our own screen module. First, decide what you want your screen to do. For this tutorial, I'm just going to reuse the core UI to keep it simple. So I'll duplicate the core UI. After that, I'll remove the image label and then change the background color of the mainframe to yellow so we can clearly tell it's a different screen. Now I'll create the new module script inside the main module. I'll move this duplicated UI inside that module. Then I'll rename the module script to whatever I want. Next, I'll open the readme file and copy the template code provided here. I'll paste that code inside this new module script. Inside the script, I need to change the name, that is info.name, so it matches exactly the name of my module script. This is not compulsory, but it's better so you can tell which one is what and what the screen module does. Also, make sure that the UI variable is correctly referenced to the UI object inside that module. Inside the run function, this is where you are going to write your own logic for how the screen should behave. The UI parameter inside that function is the actual UI that gets modified. If you want to switch to another screen, you can use core.switch, or if you want to close the current screen, you can do core.close. For this example, I'll just switch it to home screen. Now, how do we make the screen load first? That depends on your local script. Right now, my local script has this core UI as a first screen, so I'll just change that to the custom screen name instead. When you run the game, you should be able to see your custom screen as first when you equip your mobile. Now let's move on to the app customization. The home screen module works similarly to the core module, but instead of handling screens, it handles apps. Most of the time, you don't need to edit it. Inside the home screen, open the app module folder and you will see several module scripts there. Each one represents a different app. These scripts contain the logic on how each app should function. Every app module should have two important UI objects, app icon and app display. Do not rename these, the system depends on these exact names. To create your own app, just create a new module script inside the app module folder. Paste the template code from the readme file into this module. Before continuing, make sure you already have your app icon and app display ready. Once you do, place them inside this new module. Then update the info.name to match your app's name. Inside the provided function, you can now write your own custom logic on how the app should behave, and that's it. You can now create as many screens or apps as you want. There is no hard limit. Just make sure your naming is correct and everything is placed in the right directory. If you run into any errors, check the troubleshooting section in the README file. That's all for the customization.